generations back, slicing through the noise with a culture attack. Pop culture, films, and the world we see. Deleted scenes, where the truth runs free. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties or views to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties, reviews to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Your YouTube brother, let's roll.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, human being American and YouTube Ronin, and I'd like to welcome you to tonight's episode of Unscripted. First off, I'd like to say hello to everyone currently joining us tonight on X. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. I want to say hello to a few people who have joined us here in the chat. Host of Films with Friends, the creator of the 10-word review, Big Al Presents. Blue Wrench channel member, the Tired Midnight blogger, Curtis Selby. Curtis will be joining me tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern for this week's edition of Reserved Seats, so stay tuned for that. Faithful Blue Wrench channel member, the Bird Woman of YouTube. Watch out for her second channel, Fluff Chick Productions, Connie Cleary. Usarn G in the house. Channel member, JP RPH1. The Horror King is also with us. Yes, and as you see tonight, I controlled a vertical and a horizontal. All right. So, it has been quite a week for those of you who don't know. I was pretty ill there for a couple of days during the first half of the during like the middle part of the week. Wednesday, Thursday. There was basically a good 24 hours there that I missed. There's been a bug going around, and some people say that it is this mystery disease, people coming up with these. I've been seeing these videos of people saying that, they had these symptoms of, headaches, full body aches, nasal drip, stuff like that, and nausea. And I took those seriously because, those were all symptoms that I was also showing. But, all the people who think that it's like this mystery disease, or it's some kind of, COVID coming back or something like that. Guys, it's not. It's just the flu, guys. It's just a regular, good old flu, and maybe I need to go to my local pharmacy and get a flu shot after all. Who knows? But I'm up and around now. I have a little bit of a cough still, but I've been taking medicine for it, and I'm on the mend. I did unfortunately have to miss a day of work. Um, but yeah, I'm back. I'm up and around. I think I maybe missed one show because of it, but which got rescheduled, so no worries there. But yeah, I'm up and around. Let's see, what's some other news? I know the Golden Globe Awards are getting ready to start. Now, guys, I understand within our particular sphere, we don't particularly care for award shows anymore. Um, I get it. I understand, but when you are a pop culture channel like mine, who, kind of, I keep my ear to the ground for that sort of thing. I am going to be paying attention to it from time to time and checking up to see who ends up winning. There are a couple of movies that I did like this year that are nominated, so I actually do have a few categories there where I have some movies to root for. But I get it. I think award shows are kind of past their prime. I did a show. I did an episode a while back called "Coming Soon to Viewmaster," and I said that because I believe that we are seeing kind of, not only did sadly the death of cinema, but we're seeing the death of award shows. And I think the ratings are going to get to the point that, we're not going to see award shows on, any of the commercial television networks anymore. And when it was announced that that the Oscars were going to be shown on YouTube in I think 2030 or something like that. Uh, you know, it turned out that I wasn't all that far off. So yeah, I do think the Oscars this year will be the lowest rated of all time. Uh, when they get to YouTube, I don't think things are going to improve all that much. And I think Hollywood has they've lost their shine. They've lost their audience, and whether or not they get that audience back, that's up to them. The ball's in their court. They're the ones who have to improve the content that they're putting out. They're the ones who have to. I think what they really need to do is they need to apologize to us, the fans, for how they've been treating us over the last few years. Then it's kind of like what did they say? The death by a thousand cuts. And it's unfortunate because they've done it to themselves. So yeah, I know Chris Gore is on right now, um, with his coverage. Um, so feel free to check that out. Not right now. All right, let me finish up here first. So Yeah, I do know, and I think the Associated Press, I think, who apparently has a channel on YouTube, uh, not surprised, honestly. I think they have coverage as well. But so for anybody who's curious, do want to say hello to a couple of people who have joined us since the show started. My co-host on live from Sparkwood and 21, the co-host of uh, Friday Night Last Call, and the host of Geeky Geezers, which is coming up here at the top of the next hour, where he will be redirected after this program is over. Aged Boomer. And of course, my co-host, you know her, you love her, you cannot live without her. The reason why I know you're all really here, the most violent woman on YouTube, Sin's Corner. My co-host on the Mystery Movie Night podcast. Now, another thing that occurred in the last week was this incident in Minnesota where, and hello to D. Penzak. Yeah, we're trying the whole horizontal and vertical thing tonight and see how that works out. So if you are on your phone, you will be seeing a different type of, you will be seeing the vertical screen. And of course, if you're on your computer, you should be seeing the normal picture. That's what we're doing tonight. No problem. And hello to, of course, Troy Pacelli and Netters Network. Good to see you both. All right. Oh, okay. Well, we'll see. Give me a moment. Let me check that out for myself. Like I said, trying something a little bit new. Seeing how many, see if it brings in a few extra people to the show. There we go. I don't have my. It's vertical here on YouTube as well. Huh. All right. Interesting. I'll keep that in mind. Um, oh, that's because I'm on the screen where it says vertical. Yeah, there should be two streams happening at the same time. When that's like the vertical stream, and when it's the horizontal that are going on at the same time. So if you are on your if you're on the if you see the vertical stream, then you will be on that stream, and if you see the regular picture, then that means you're on the horizontal stream. Trying this out, see if it brings in a few more people onto the program, and hopefully get us noticed over here. All right. Yeah, I see. All right. Good, good. All right. Now, One of the things that I did want to bring up was the incident that took place in actually the double incident. We had the shootings in Minnesota and in Portland. We had in Portland the attack on the federal agents there by what turned out to be two gang members. And you have the situation that has gotten the bulk of the media coverage, which was the situation in Minnesota, which of course is completely out of control then there. And the politicians who are doing anything, who are doing absolutely nothing about any of it. It has become clear that there are certain places in this country that just aren't safe. And sadly, it turns out that Minneapolis, Minnesota is one of those places. There are protests that are continuing there. They are getting increasingly violent. Now, I have no problem with the right to peacefully protest. But the unfortunate thing about it is what's going on out there is not peaceful. It's not it's not peaceful protests. If you are running people over with your vehicle, when you are threatening the lives of federal agents and civilians who are not on your side, then that is no longer a peaceful protest. And the police will have to do what they have to do. And yeah, there are people who are crying over the fact that this woman had 3 kids at home. And it is upsetting because she should have been at home with her kids, not at a protest trying to run over a cop. Now, there are people who will compare this woman to Charlie Kirk and say, okay, well, you said don't make fun of Charlie Kirk. Why are you making fun of the death of this woman? I'm not making fun of the death of anybody. However, the difference was Charlie Kirk was speaking during a peaceful get together, whatever you want to call it. He was there to speak to the people who were in attendance, and the people in the crowd were there to speak with him. There was a dialogue that was taking place. So, there was nobody threatening anybody. The only person who was a threat at that rally was the individual that murdered Charlie Kirk. Now, this woman who is in Minnesota was there to cause trouble, was there to agitate. She is part of this group called Ice Watch, who come to protest, and they'll follow ICE agents around and agitate the situation, and she did something incredibly stupid, and you try to run over a cop, guys, they're not just going to sit there and let you run their people over. They will shoot you. They will defend themselves. And that's the difference. Charlie Kirk came to peacefully speak at a college to people who wanted to hear what he had to say, even people who may not have agreed with him. But he was opening up a dialogue. This is a woman who came to cause violence. And what happened to her happened. And I feel sorry for her kids, but she should have been at home taking care of them. Now there are 3 more children who are without a mother. It shouldn't have happened. Now, I tend to think of what happened in Portland is more, that's kind of more day to day. These were known gang members, they were known to the police. They attacked a couple of federal officers, and they lost. They got into a shootout and they lost. You know, I would rather cops have to deal with the real bad guys instead of a bunch of civilians who get ginned up by what they hear on TikTok and The View. Harking says, from what I've seen, no one has been making fun of the woman who was shot. However, I did see a lot of people on the left celebrating that Charlie Kirk was unalive. Yeah, and that's exactly my point. No one is making light of this. Trust me. Um, the news about what happened in Minnesota has been pretty big talking point here in Ireland. To make it worse, boomers and some of the older Gen Xers believe everything the news tells them. You can't. You can't believe what the mainstream legacy media tells you. They do not have your best interests in mind. They are in the pocket of the far left. They have been for quite some time. They are told what to say, oftentimes paid to do it. You have to go to alternate sources, and hopefully some changes will be made. I know CBS News now has someone who is in charge of their news division who wants to bring it back to just reporting the news and staying neutral, and I hope that sticks for their sake. But honestly, you have to go to alternate sources. If you don't have multiple reliable sources backing it up, then you can't believe it. This woman found out firsthand what the FAFO meant. Also, this one just happened to have her wife on the footpath. They're recording everything on her phone. Yeah, which is another tragic thing. Congratulations, you just got your loved one's death on your phone. Congratulations, you know. You know. Oh, but she was a mother. Well, you know, you two should have been home with your kids. That's all I got to say about it. You should have been home with your kids, not trying to run over police. And I know this is going to sound very dark, but you are dead. I cannot help you. If you attempt to assault or to murder police, you're taking your own life into your hands. It's just that simple, guys. Because I know if somebody came at me like that, I'm going to do what I will have to do to defend myself. Yeah, it is unfortunate, because if you have family at home and you're going to go out onto the street and behave in this manner, you have to take into account that may very well be when you kissed your family goodbye and went out to do whatever it is you're going to do, whatever violence you think you're going to do, you got to take into account that may be the last time you see your family. If you're going to go out and try to, and I'll use the popular term, unalive someone, you also have to take into account that person may be faster on the draw than you are. If you're going to go and make a TikTok video saying, hey, I'm going to go to war with these people, they're going to take that freaking seriously, folks. They're going to take it seriously. They're going to take you seriously. If you're walking around out there flashing guns, you pull a gun on a cop, they're not going to hesitate. You aim a car at a cop, they're not going to hesitate. Their training's going to kick in. It's just how it is. This whole thing is so retarded, even more retarded, and see how many leftists have been constantly moving goalposts on this in their argument. Yeah. She couldn't be home with her kids because she gave up custody of 3 of her 4 kids. Her wife, like, putting out cigarettes on their arms. Ow. Judge placed them with their father. Then good. Good. Then that's the best place for them then. Good. Oh, and they were abusing their kids on top of it? Terrific. Okay, great. Then the kids should be with their dad. Good. Good riddance to this bitch. Good. And I hope the wife gets charged too. Because she was the one who said keep driving, and it is on tape. You can hear her say it. And leftist politicians, I swear, I think they want a civil war. I think so too. They're making that very clear. I do think they want one, and they're And they're being encouraged. I mean, these protesters, they are being encouraged by the leftist politicians. They're being encouraged by legacy mainstream media. They're being encouraged by Hollywood. Hollywood is making movies showing these people as heroes. And they get awarded for it. The problem here in Ireland is that most of the older generations refuse to watch any alternative news outlets. I get it. It's hard for, a leopard ain't going to change his spots. I get it. I'm the same way, but I came to realize, a few years ago that hey, these people, in the mainstream media are lying. They are on the take, as it were. They're in the bag for the left, and that's not a new thing. This is something that has to be understood up front. This is not a new thing for the mainstream media or for Hollywood or anything like that. They've always been left, always, all the way back to the beginning. But there was a time when they used to hide it a lot better. There was a time before social media where they could hide that a lot better. But now these people, the mask is off. They have shown their true colors, and you have to understand these people are what they are, and they do not have your best interests uh, in mind, and they are only out for themselves. Anyone else remember when the left was trying to liberate people instead of abuse people? Yeah, maybe there was a time once. Also, don't buy the lie about her dropping her kid off at school. Oh hell no, 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 clearly not. I mean, yeah, they were there to be involved in that protest and cause as much violence and havoc as they could. And then get it on TikTok as a known. Yeah, no, 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 nobody with a more than a third grade education is going to fall for that. I mean, come on, yeah. Like I said, if they cared about their kids, they would have been with them. I've been told by a lot of people from the older generations that the news would never lie to them. Even when I show these people that the news did lie, they still won't believe it. Yeah. Left's insanity lately, specifically why I finally purchased firearms. I took a concealed carry class, applied for a permit, went my whole life without one until last year. Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Hello to Gorilla's Random Thoughts. Good to see you, sir. Blah. I'll be listening while I figure out what to have for supper. Uh, can't have any leftovers because I'll be taking speed of this on the beach in the Caribbean in a couple of days. Well, cool. Well, have fun. You should see her rap sheet. Of her battery is on off. Yeah, I'm shocked by. Don't keep it behind us anymore. They let them go a couple of hours. Yeah, we have one left stream about her state. It's like they did Rittenhouse. And you know what? There are still people who believe that Kyle Rittenhouse shot and killed 3 black people. Everybody he shot was white. Uh, 2 of them were known felons, including a guy who had been let out of jail that morning. who was also a pedophile, by the way. Um, yeah, all true. It's the same here. Sometimes it's not even the older generation that would search multiple places for info. Yeah. Did anyone else here notice that the photo the mainstream media used for this was from a few years ago and not a recent? It's like 20 years old. That photo of her that they used. Yeah. This is one of the things that they do. You know, and they did this with that Michael Clark kid that got killed attacking police. They tried to make him out like, Fat Albert, this gentle giant on his way to church. No, the kid was a criminal. Long rap sheet. One battle after another, which will likely take a lot of awards today and at the Oscars, is a glorification of leftist terrorism and no accountability for them. Yeah. Okay, gotta head out. Have a live stream with Multi Maladies channel in 10 minutes. Okay. Tell him I said hello. Have fun. Stopped listening to the mainstream media back in the early 2000s. Yeah. Not seen a pic of her, at least not a close up. But I understand that her and her wife recently moved to Murderapolis. Yeah. There's only one mainstream media outlet here in Ireland that I listen to on a regular basis. It's called Gript Media. It's not funded by the Irish government, but it's funded by the Irish people. Good, yeah. Okay, good, good. I'll keep an eye out for them. All right. Decoy voice said some things about someone running over ICE agents before. I don't know if it was her or not. They did do the same to the kid that shot Trump. They used a photo from eighth grade. At least no one remembers his name. Yeah. All right. With Troy being here, I'd like to bring up something that he said on the show that I thought was a bit of a good point. And I had said on a show, I think it was last week or the week before, where I was talking about the Delta Force scrapping up Nicolas Maduro, and I said, let's just take the W. I said at the time, let's just kind of take the W, and but Troy also brought up something that I thought was kind of interesting, which was, this could lead to a pretty dangerous president because, okay, we've gone in, we have grabbed up this guy, and I still say we should have done it. But, that does open the door maybe for other countries. What if Putin decides to go into Ukraine and grab up Zelensky? Um, what if the Chinese go into Taiwan and take their leader? Yeah, no. Um, yeah, it is a slippery slope, guys. And we do have to be careful in what we do. And this is part of what I talk about when I say, we can't be the world's policeman. Um, I know it's kind of expected, whenever there is some kind of natural disaster, we're usually the first people there saying, what can we do to help? You know, um, if there is Um, whenever there is a larger country that threatens as well. The point is we're always the guy who comes to the aid of the underdog, or the people who are less fortunate, and that's a good thing to be. But on the other hand, we also, as we just got finished talking about, we have problems of our own right here in our own country that need to be fixed, because I think we are in danger right now of becoming a third world country. We have been invaded by illegals. Uh, some of them not here to assimilate into the culture. I mean, number one, if you've crossed our borders illegally, whether you intend to do any harm or not, you're just some guy looking for better opportunities. You have already broken the law by doing that. So we need to strengthen our borders. We need to enforce the laws that are on our books and like quit letting these criminals roam the streets. We need to, these people that have like 10 arrests, 50 arrests, 100 arrests, these people who are getting increasingly violent, these people who are mentally ill, who are just allowed to walk around on the street and do whatever to people, you know. Um, we have issues here, and that's not lost on me. Also, what do you think is the reason we got Maduro, and why do you think it's a good thing for us? What is it that you think again? I like to think that we at least stopped some of the drugs from crossing into our borders. I'm not going to be Pollyanna-ish about this. I get it. He's a weed. You knock one down, three will grow up in his place. But I, I am so used to criminals getting away with things. you know, and when one is actually captured, and remember, we still got to put this guy through a trial and all. Okay, he's arrested. That's one thing. We still got to put him on trial. And I have no doubt he's going to wind up going back home again, sooner than later. But I don't know. Maybe it will. Who knows? All right. I know because hey, I'm American. I'm going to be wrong about everything. But, my opinions are mine. That's why I say that at the beginning of every show. My opinions are mine. Yeah, it's what it is. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. So on the lighter side of the news, Kathleen Kennedy is leaving Lucasfilm again. Is anybody really buying this time? I'm not going to believe it until we actually see um, uh, until we actually see somebody placed in charge Lucasfilm. They say it's going to be Filoni and this Lewin Brownwin or something, whatever the hell her name is. She sounds like a Willow character, but you know, um, there are changes that need to be made at Lucasfilm, at Disney, and at Marvel, and they need to be done from the top down. And yeah. As for whether or not Kathleen Kennedy is actually being replaced anytime soon, I'll believe that. I'll believe that when I see it. you know, it's something to laugh at with the week that just seemed like it was so grim. And like I said, there was a whole 24-hour period where folks, I was literally asleep. So I don't know what the hell happened, but yeah. You know, when I heard that story of Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down as head of Lucasfilm, I got a good chuckle out of that. I was like, oh, you're funny. Tell me another one. know. Uh, yeah, all right. The situation in Iran. Yeah, I really do worry about the people who are protesting in Iran. Because when you get to these countries like Iran, like in China with Tiananmen, I'm afraid in Iran that like this Tiananmen Square type situation is going to take place because people are being killed. 538 people have already been killed during those protests in Iran, and I'm afraid there's going to be a lot more. I'm really, really afraid for the people out there. I mean, that's okay. I happen to be able to disagree with friends and still be friends. Don't tag people and call them trucks. Yeah. Well, yeah, I was there. I saw that one. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Um, obviously, there was some drama backstage. There was some drama, Troy, between that came from someone in the chat that got pissy for some reason, and apparently not their first time. I don't know what happened. I hadn't heard anything before that, but yeah, it happens in chats sometimes. You'll get somebody who will disagree with somebody on the panel, and yeah, it happens on these shows, guys, sometimes. But yeah, it's okay to agree to disagree, you know. And my thing is this. I have seen my share of bullies. I have seen my share of, and this is something I'm probably going to go into more detail on another show. But yeah, I have seen evil people get away with things. And whenever somebody finally gets caught, when somebody finally has to kind of, face the music for their actions, face the consequences of their actions, I'm not used to seeing that a whole lot. And like I said, okay, we grabbed up the guy. We still got to put him through a trial. Do I think he's likely to get away with it and get sent back home? Probably. That's the way of the world. But I'll take these little victories where I find them. Is it going to change anything? No, it's not going to change anything. Because, like I said, he's a weed, he's a symptom. We got him, but 3 will crop up in his place. It's the way of the world. sadly. But we don't have time to get into that now because we do have Geeky Geezers starting up here in now 8 minutes. Well, I got to everything I wanted to talk about tonight. I do want to thank everybody who is listening in. Those of you over on X, I can't see you, but I know that you're there. I want to say hello to anyone who might be lurking in the background. There's always one or two. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to engage with the chat. Just as long as you enjoy the show, hit the like, share out the stream, say hello in the comments, and, do all the clicky, algorithm-y things. And I do want to thank everybody who is here in the live chat with us. Al, Troy, and Nutter, Gorilla's Random Thoughts, Curtis, Connie, Usarn G, Horror King, D. Penzak. Let me scroll up. I don't want to miss anybody. JPRPH1, Sin's Corner. Horror King, if I left you out, sorry. Okay, and I think that was everyone who was in the live chat. All right. From HQ and all points, north, south, east, west, and beyond, the beat goes on. Good night, take care, stay strong, be safe and healthy, because this is how we win.
Even Ronin's back, slicing through the noise with a culture attack. Pop culture films in the world we see. Deleted scenes where the truth runs free. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties reviews to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties, reviews, to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Yeah. Stay out in your YouTube, bro, let's roll.